Hey guys. Oh, I'm so annoyed. So, I was trying to go live from my computer with you guys on StreamYards because it's just like I can StreamYard. If I go on StreamYard, then I can stream on Facebook and YouTube at the same time. And I cannot get my freaking StreamYard app. The browser has blocked your mic and camera. Why? Why is it doing that? No, I don't want to do that. I don't understand why it's doing that. Stop doing that, okay? No. I'm trying to figure out why it's blocking my camera and my microphone. It's pissing me off. Stop doing that, you piece of shit. So, what's going on with everybody else? I hope you guys are all having a great day. I'm having a good day. I'm just getting pissed because I'm trying to freaking use my damn computer, and I had it all set up. And I let my son and his friends use my computer to play last night. Big mistake. It always ends up fucking shit up. And whenever you let your kid use your shit, they always end up fucking it up. No, I didn't fix it, baby. It's just the name of the game, you know? So now I'm trying to get it fixed back. But anyways, I'll deal with this later. I'm going to have to figure it out because this is how I have guests on my channel, is through StreamYard. So I'm going to have to, you know what? Something has to be running or something that is keeping my shit from going. I don't know if it's this stupid. Ugh. So mad. Shut off. But anyways, what's going on with all you guys? We're gonna shut it down and then we'll restart it. What is up? Oh, thanks for the stars, Jessica. I appreciate that, girl. So what's up, everybody? My name is Nicole. For those of you guys that are just now finding me or just seeing me here on Facebook, I'm a person in recovery. I've been sober since July 13th of 2015. I got sober through therapy and medication-assisted treatment. Suboxone was the medication that I used to get sober, and it has literally saved and changed my life. I will forever, ever talk highly of this medication. It's literally been the best thing that ever happened to me. And I started sharing my journey in recovery all the way back in 2016 here on Facebook. I started sharing my story more or less to share about how I was looking for people who were like me, because I live in Arkansas. If you can't tell, I have a country accent. I live in Arkansas, and when you go to treatment here, the only things that they teach you here in the recovery centers here are abstinence and religion and 12-step. And so when I got sober and I was utilizing Suboxone, there wasn't a big support system for it here. There wasn't like a lot of people talking about being on Suboxone and being proud, you know. A lot of people would hide it because they were embarrassed or ashamed. And I wasn't embarrassed or ashamed at all. Because, see, I used to be addicted to drugs for like 20 years. And so when I got on subs and I was able to get a full-time job, I was able to get custody of my son back, I was able to buy a home, I was able to pay off my car, my husband has been able to pay off his car, we have money in our savings account, we were able to pay off our past IRS debt that we owed. We were able to pay off multiple credit cards because we were working full-time jobs and saving our money. I was like, wow, like my life is changed 100% for the positive. And so you can imagine my surprise whenever I was like so proud that my life was changing and that I was doing so well, and I was sharing about my recovery, and I was getting met with, oh, well, you know, you're not sober, right? You know that like you shouldn't take that medication forever. How much longer are you going to be on that? You're not going to stay on that for the rest of your life, are you? You know that's just like legal heroin. That's just government dope. Bitch, sign me the fuck up. Sign me that. I'll take it. Give me the government dope. Okay, I'll be the first one in line for it. First one in line. It saved my life. It saved my life. Taking a medication as prescribed, let me just tell y'all. If you have people who are judging you because you are utilizing medication-assisted treatment as a tool in your recovery, I want you to sit down and I want you to take your life and I want you to write down what your life was like in active addiction. And then I want you to write down what your life is like now in recovery with Suboxone or methadone. And I want you to compare the two. Here, I'll do it for you. When I was in active addiction, my mom and dad didn't trust me. I wasn't allowed to come over to the house anymore because I couldn't be left alone. I would steal money out of their purse. I would leave syringes laying around the house. And I would take things from my little sisters. Today in recovery on Suboxone, my mother and father trust me. I'm allowed at their house alone. I'm allowed around my little nephew. He's not little anymore. He's in his 20s now. And my family trusts me. When I was in active addiction, I would use my body to get drugs for free. I'm not proud of this, but I would do something strange for a little bit of change, if you know what I mean. In active recovery with Suboxone, I haven't had to sell my body. I haven't had to do something strange for a little bit of change in almost 9 years. I'll have 9 years July 13th. In active addiction, I lost custody of my son because I chose drugs over my child. In active recovery, I was able to get custody of my son back, and I've had custody of my son back for 8.5 years now. He doesn't remember being away from me. He doesn't remember me ever being high on drugs. The only thing he remembers is having a sober, healthy mom. And do you think my son looks at me and says, Mom, you're not sober because you're on Suboxone? Do you think my son questions the fact that I'm able to get up every single morning and take care of him and take him to school and have play dates with his buddies and do all kinds of amazing activities? Do you think he says, Mom, you're not sober because you're on Suboxone? No. When I was in active addiction, I was very promiscuous. I would cheat on my significant other, and I was just wild. In active recovery with Suboxone, I have been faithful in my relationship since 2012. I never cheated on Neil, but my significant other before him. But I've been in a committed relationship since 2012, and I got married in 2019. Okay? When I was in active addiction, I would lie, I would cheat, and I would steal. In active recovery with Suboxone, I don't lie, I don't cheat, and I don't steal. In fact, I used to have such a problem with stealing. I was a kleptomaniac, specifically because I would take Xanax. And then I would go into the store, and I don't know what it is about Xanax, but it makes you want to steal. It gives you this feeling that you're untouchable or invisible. And so you can just go in and be like, just taking all the stuff. And so that's what I would do. In active recovery with Suboxone, I have not stolen in 8.5 years. And when I tell you this was a problem, I used to be a professional booster. I used to make money boosting, if that tells you anything. Okay. So a lot of people, when I first started sharing about being on Suboxone, I was sharing about it in 2016. I was one of the first people in recovery to talk about Suboxone, about being on it and talking about it openly on a platform. And people came for my throat. People made fun of me. People tried to block me. People threw me out of their recovery groups. People laughed in my face. But you know what I did? I stood true to what I knew what I was doing, because the whole purpose of me sharing about being in recovery on Suboxone is to help those of you guys who are also on MAT or taking an alternative route of recovery and who have been made to believe that their way of recovery is not valid or not good or not acceptable or not recovery. The whole purpose of me making content is to give you guys the courage and to take away the shame of being on medicine. If you need to take medicine and it helps you live a better life, so fucking be it. Screw anybody that says anything different. And so that's why I started sharing my story. That's why, because I needed to find other people that were like me, and I also needed to find like more support, and I also really wanted to help other people not feel ashamed, you know, and I feel great. Like, I have been doing this for 6 years now online, and I love helping people. I love sharing my story, and I really hope people get courage and support from me making content, so that way you're not. I just think it's important for people to know that there's people out there that are like them. You know, you can go anywhere and find somebody that's in recovery through abstinence. You know what I mean? Everywhere you go, there's people that are in AA and NA. Like, I feel like there needs to be more people that are speaking about alternative paths, more people that are stepping away from being hidden or ashamed and sharing about their pathway, because it's important to educate people, so that way, you know, maybe you're somebody who's been trying to get sober for the last 20 years like I was, and you have tried everything, and every time you do it, you fail. That was my experience. Every time I tried to get sober, I would fail. I would get like 6 months sober, and then I would relapse. And then they would tell me I must not be doing it right. I must have not been willing enough. I must have not worked the steps good enough. I must have not called my sponsor enough. I must have not went to enough meetings. Like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? Yeah, I know what Sublocade is, baby. Yeah, I know what Sublocade is. It's amazing. And so, can you, and I also want people to understand that I really want you guys to look at the way the treatment industry is created. It is a one-way trap, okay? Why? Think about this. I want you guys to listen to me right now. If you don't listen to any part of this video, listen to this part of this video. Why is it that when you struggle with substance use disorder, which has been deemed a disorder/disease, that means it needs to have treatment, right? Why is it that when you struggle with this substance use disorder, why is it that we're all placed into the same kind of treatment centers where they only offer 12-step abstinence-only recovery? Why isn't there multiple levels of care? Why isn't there multiple options to get sober? Why is it that we're all filtered into this one kind of program? Because, really think about this. Do they really want you to get sober? Do they really want you to succeed? Because the treatment industry is a multi-million-dollar industry. And if you succeed on your first try, then you're not coming back around. You're not relapsing and going back through treatment over and over again. I bet you every single one of you in here has been to treatment multiple times. Probably more than 5. I went to treatment 9 times. And don't even get me started on all the sober living houses I lived in. Okay? It's designed that way so you fail. That's why you're not given multiple different treatment options. Because if you have multiple different treatment options, you're more likely to succeed. No, let's funnel you all into a recovery rehab that's only 30 days long, and then make you go to a sober living where you have to go to a 12-step program, and you can't be on any kind of medication in the sober living. So that right there, that makes your chances of failing even higher. Okay? It's like, what? Thank you, Tracy. I appreciate the stars, baby. I really do. Thank you so much. Imagine if the treatment industry was designed to actually help you succeed. Imagine if when you went into treatment, they did a full workup assessment with a doctor, a psychiatrist, a nurse, okay? And imagine if you were able to get dual diagnosis treatment for your mental health and your addiction. Imagine if you were offered multiple pathways: medication assisted treatment, plant medicine, psychedelics, therapy, and 12-step, and you could choose and find which one of those works best for you. And that treatment program was longer than 30 days long, because we all know that 30 days is just the tip, right? You're not even getting the head wet, okay? You're not even getting started, okay? Because imagine, then you would actually have an opportunity to succeed. And then after you got out of treatment, imagine if they offered you supportive services such as sober living that accepts people that are on medication assisted treatment. Imagine it. Then people would actually start succeeding, and people would start healing and growing past addiction. But instead, the treatment industry is broken, and it is only one way. And so that's why people are filtered through it so much, because they're not offered other options. You know what I mean? It doesn't help you guys. It doesn't matter. People need more than just going in, getting taken off all the drugs they're on, and this is where the fucked up part is. So you're meaning to tell me that you won't help somebody with medication-assisted treatment? You won't put somebody on Suboxone or Methadone to help with their chronic opiate use disorder, chronic relapsing. But you will load them down with psych meds. You will put them on Risperdal. You will put them on lithium. You will put them on Seroquel. You will put them on every fucking drug to sedate them. But the reason you'll do that is because they're not a narcotic medication. But these drugs sedate people so much, they're a former shell of themselves. Then when they come out of treatment and they try to get back into society, and they're on all these psych meds, and don't think that they got on these psych meds because a doctor actually did a thorough assessment of them. No, they were in detox, they were sick. And the resident doctor that's over the whole treatment center that sees 100 people a day, who is prescribing the whole treatment center Seroquel. It's just like the prison industrial complex. It's just like the inmates in prison. It's the same concept. Okay? Let's get them all sedated. That way we don't got to deal with them, right? And we can just push them out. You need individualized treatment, okay? Those of you guys that are struggling with substance use disorder, find what works for you. Don't get stuck in the hamster wheel of rehabs that jerk you off and then send you out to fail. Okay? The reason why I'm talking about this is because I got jerked off and sent out to fail 10 times. Okay? I am so lucky I didn't die. One of those times I could have overdosed and died and never came back. Why wasn't I offered medication-assisted treatment? I had been to treatment 8 times before the 9th time when I got offered medication-assisted treatment. And I didn't even get offered it in the treatment center. I graduated the whole program. I had to go to my doctor and say, hey, I need something to help me. I don't think I can stay sober. And my son is in state custody. I can't lose custody of my child to help my brain. Okay? Sorry about that. I need something to help my brain, you know? These treatment centers are not equipped to help you guys. And you will never catch me trying to send y'all to a rehab. So if you're trying to reach out to me for help, I'm not going to refer you to a rehab. So if you're looking for rehab, I'm not the person to come to. Okay? Because I quite frankly believe it is all a scam. Okay? If it worked for you, that's great. People could say it worked for me. I went to treatment after I got out. I was sober and I didn't go back to relapsing. But that was after 9 times. 9 times, okay? People don't have 9 times to go back and forth in and out of treatment. Okay? People can die. Are we frozen? Let me know, guys. If we're frozen, back in and then come back in, okay? And so I'm not saying these things because I'm trying to be negative, you guys. I'm trying to tell you guys that a lot of y'all that watch me, you're desperate and you're looking for help. You're looking for the answers. And what I'm trying to tell you guys is that people are going to tell you they have the answers. People are going to sell you a dream in this recovery shit. And I'm telling you, nobody has the answer. The only person who can change their life is you. The only person can stop your addiction is you. And you have to take your power. You have to change your life. You have to decide enough is enough. I'm not getting high no more. I'm turning my life around. I'm changing my life, and I'm going to do whatever it takes. If you struggle with mental illness, you need to get into therapy. You need to see a doctor. You need to get the help you need and actively advocate for yourself. Okay? Going into some residential 30-day program, it's just going to dry you out. That's all it's good for, is going in and drying out. Hey, and I understand that. If you have insurance and you don't have to pay anything, go in there and dry out. You know what I mean? It helped me. Okay? It helped me to have that 30 days of dry time, right? But that's all it did. That's all it did. Okay? How do I make myself want it? Because I know I need it. Baby, I mean, honestly, you just have to get to a point. Eventually, this is what happens. I'm going to be honest with y'all, okay? Eventually, you're going to get to a point where you fucked your life up so bad that you ain't got no choice but to want it, okay? And if you don't ever, hey, don't get me to lying. There are some people who never get sober. They never change their life. And it's because they don't want to make a change. You have to want to make the change, okay? And for me, it took me getting my son taken away. That was what made me realize, okay, if anything else, I knew I needed to make a change in 2008 when I caught my felony charge for possession. I knew I needed to make a change back in 2008. But I didn't get sober until 2015, okay? I knew I needed to make a change in 2009 when I went to prison, but I didn't get sober until 2015. Something drastic had to happen, okay? I had to lose something that was important to me, which was my child. And that was, for me, that was the motivating factor, okay? You need to dig deep within inside yourself and find a motivating factor. If you don't love yourself, you need to find something else that you love that motivates you to make that change. And don't listen to what people say. Some people are going to say, you can't get sober for anybody but yourself. That's not true. Sure, you can get sober for somebody else. I did it. I got sober for my son. Okay? I did not love myself at all. I hated my own guts. Okay, I hated my guts. I wanted to die, and I hated life, right? I loved getting high because I could escape reality, and I didn't have to feel my feelings when I was high. That's why I got high, because my feelings were so strong. My feelings were times 1,000, so I didn't want to feel my feelings because there was always so much feeling going on. So I would use drugs to not feel, okay? When Nathaniel got taken away from me, that was the worst thing that I've ever felt in my life. And I got high because of it, because I didn't want to feel. But I knew that I had to do something different because I didn't want my baby to go away and never see me again. You know? And so that was the icing. That was the icing on the cake. That was the straw that broke the camel's back for me, was my baby getting taken away from me. You know? Every person is different. What is your motivation? What is the deciding factor that pushes you over the edge to make the change? But at the end of the day, no one's coming to save you. There's no fucking Captain Save-A-Ho that's dropped down and out of the clouds and says, I'm here to save all the drug addicts and junkies across the land. Jump on my cape and let's ride out into the recovery wind. That ain't happening. The only person that can save you is you. That's it. And look at me. If you don't want to stop getting high, that's your prerogative. I don't hate you if you still get high. I love you. I don't care if you use drugs. That's your prerogative. You are a grown adult who can make their own choices, right? So please don't get it twisted. I don't think I'm better than anybody. I love people who use drugs and I love people who don't use drugs. If you want to still use drugs and that's not negatively impacting your life and you can fucking live your life and snort fucking cocaine or live your life and shoot fucking methamphetamine, more fucking power to you. But I couldn't do it. Every time I shot methamphetamine, I would go into psychosis. Okay? And I would hallucinate that my husband was with another woman while he was laying in the bed beside me. So that made for a lot of fights at night, you know? And so it made a lot of drama and chaos happen in my life. I would shoot methamphetamine and then I would hallucinate that Cy from Duck Dynasty was coming out of the vents. And so I wouldn't sleep for like 5 days. And then after not sleeping for 5 days, then I would try to drive my car. And then I would almost have a car accidents, do all kinds of crazy shit. And so for me, it wasn't conducive. I couldn't live my life like that anymore, and I realized how fucked up it was. And then I brought a child into my life, and that I knew my life had to change because I couldn't keep living like that. How was I going to take care of my child in psychosis? You know? And so some of you guys haven't gotten to that point, right? And if you haven't gotten to that point where you were like me and you were in psychosis all the time, you better be fucking... Get sober now before you go there. You know what I mean? You don't want to get to the point of no return. I could have done damage to my brain that was irreversible. I could have got stuck like that. You know, I know people who did meth like I did meth, and they are in a constant state of psychosis now. They are permanently tweaked. They don't know. They're constantly thinking in fucking paranoia. They're constantly thinking in conspiracy theories. They're constantly thinking people are after them because they're permanently fucked up in their mind from doing drugs. Okay, that could happen to you. And so if you don't make a change now, that could be a possibility, you know? And so some people use drugs and it's just like that you just do it recreationally. You're just having a good time. Maybe you made a few bad mistakes and you realize, oh, I need to make a change, right? I need to make a change. My life is really getting fucked up and I'm turning my life around, and you just stop. If you are like that, man, I wish that was I wish I could have just stopped like that. For me, I do everything to the next level, you know? That's where I am. I got high 8 days after 4 years of sobriety and immediately went into a paranoid psychosis. Bella, I'm so sorry that happened to you, but I hope that made you realize this is not worth it. I don't need to come back to that. I feel like that sounds like God was trying to show you, what are you doing after 4 years of sobriety? Bitch, you better get back on the wagon. You know, that was a wake up call because you could have got stuck for real like that. You know, I was using and pregnant. We'll be celebrating 6 years meth and opiate free. That's great. Great job. Good job, Jamie. I'm very proud of you, babe. Through Matt and Finding Jesus. That's amazing. Congratulations. It is hard to make changes. When you practice something for so long, okay, I want you guys to look at addiction. I want you to take everything that you've learned about addiction online out of your mind. Wipe it clean. Okay? And I want you to realize that addiction is just poor choices and bad habits. Poor choices and bad habits that you have practiced for umpteen years. And so when you go to change those habits and you go to change and make better choices, it's not easy because you've practiced those other habits and those bad choices for so many years, right? So it's challenging, but it's not hard, right? It's challenging, but it's simple. All you have to do is shift your thinking, okay? Instead of thinking about how you feel sorry for yourself, woe is me, I can't do this, right? You got to start changing your mindset to, I can overcome anything. I am strong. I am beautiful. I am resourceful. I mean, duh. I mean, if you're a drug addict, then you could do anything, okay? Most people I know that struggled with addiction, they are like the smartest people I know. Okay, we can turn anything into something. How did you and your man survive using and getting clean together? Oh, it was so hard. We barely made it. A lot of people, when me and Neil got sober, because we got sober at the same time, when we got sober, I went into rehab and he went into outpatient. Everybody told us we needed to separate. This was the father of my child and soon-to-be husband, right? We had been together for 3 years when I went to treatment. When we got sober, we had been together for 3 years. And they were basically telling me, because we used drugs together, that we could never be together and that we needed to get away from each other. And I was like, y'all are full of some dog shit, because what he does and what I do are two separate people. We're two separate people, right? And we can turn our lives around. We can turn our lives around, and we both want this. We want to get better for our son. We want to get better for each other. We want to have a good, sober life together. And we both sat down and we knew that we wanted the same thing. That's the very important thing. You have to sit down and talk with your significant other, you guys, and make sure that y'all are both on the same page, okay? You cannot be fighting against each other. One person can't be going this way and the other person go that way. If y'all are not on the same page, it's going to be disastrous, right? And I need you guys to understand, when me and Neil got sober, we weren't some junkie couple. We weren't some drug addicts that were just fucking because we were high. Like, this was the father of my child and the love of my life. This was my best friend. Like, when I met this man, I knew I was going to marry him. Okay? Like, I knew it without a shadow of a doubt. I've never been married before in my life. Okay? Like, this was not a joke, all right? And so this wasn't some druggy relationship like I had in the past. I had plenty of those. I know what they're all about, right? This was my best friend and father of my child and my soon-to-be husband, like I said. And so when we got together, or when we got to getting sober, every treatment professional, every person was telling us we needed to get away from each other. We wouldn't be able to stay sober together. Instead, what they should have been doing was encouraging us, letting us know, hey, did you know that there's meetings that are for couples? Hey, did you know it would be a good idea to get into couples therapy together? Hey, did you know that you could... No, it was constant telling us how we weren't going to succeed and how we weren't supposed to be together. So what do? That made us want to succeed and be together even more. And so he went to outpatient. I went to inpatient. We got out. When I got out, I got on MAT. He was already on MAT. Okay. And so we were both on MAT together. All right. We started going to therapy. We started going to therapy together. Okay. We worked really hard together, seeing our son and doing visitations. My husband was working a full-time job. I was working a partish like 25, 30 hours a week job. And we worked together. We worked together to help each other. Yes, I'm on 0.25 of 1 milligram. And I'll be on it probably for the rest of my life, most likely. I mean, unless I feel like getting off of it in a couple of years. My goal is to, I'm trying to get rid of diabetes right now. So that's like my main focus, is getting my health in line, which I've lost 61 pounds. And once I can get my diabetes reversed, then I think I'm going to try and jump off the 0.25. But I'm not sure. I'll let y'all know when I do. But Neil and I put in work, okay? Like, we changed our whole life. We changed everything. We disconnected from the people that we were getting high with, which honestly, you guys, like those people that we were using with, they weren't our real friends. When we got sober, they came over and they tried to like tempt us into going back into drugs with them. And so I had to put a note on my front door that basically said like, hey, we cleaned our lives up. We're fighting for custody of our son back. If you want to get high, get the fuck up off my fucking lawn. You know what I mean? And so we lost all of our friends, and but that was okay, because like I said, we didn't need those people in our life. The only reason those people were our friends was because me and my husband, we had drugs and we had money and we had jobs, you know, and so we would always have most of the time what we needed because we both worked and stuff. And so a lot of the times the people that were friends with us were just friends with us because we had things that would benefit them. You know what I mean? Which is pretty fucked up. because y'all know when you're in active addiction, 2's always better than 1. So me and my husband, we worked together when we were in active addiction. Have told no one because of all the trolls. But yes, me and my hubby are sober almost 3 years. That's awesome, Ashley. I'm really proud of you. Yeah. You know, I have been telling people I've been on Suboxone since I got on Suboxone back in 2015. And people, like I said, will tell me that I shouldn't be on it, or why am I still, like, why am I still on it? And this is what I have to say. You wouldn't say shit to me about that, about anything else. If I told you that I was on fucking meds for bipolar disorder that keep me from wanting to kill you and other people, you would never question me and tell me to get off my medication. Never. Okay? You wouldn't say it. If I was schizophrenic and fucking dealing with multiple personalities and fucking talking to this person over here and that person over there and all the kinds of things and conspiracy, and I took medication that controlled that, you would never tell me to stop taking that medication. When I tell people I'm on medication for my diabetes and I've lost 61 pounds, people don't say shit to me about being on medication for my diabetes. But they say something about me about being on medication for substance use disorder. Because people believe that substance use disorder is just a moral failing, right? And so it's a stigma of addiction. It's a stigma. For 10 months now, and it has helped me with my ability to see clearly. That's awesome, Ryan. I love Sublocade. I haven't been able to get on it because I'm on a lower dose of Suboxone, and I couldn't find a doctor here where I live. I live in Arkansas to switch me to Sublocade, or else I would totally do that. It'd probably be a lot easier too. But I always have found it so strange how it really bothers a lot of people that we take medication. And I truly believe it's because there's a lot of people that haven't overcome their addiction. And they can't take a medication as prescribed. They can't take Suboxone as prescribed. When they take it, they abuse it, right? And if that's your experience, like, I'm sorry. You know what I mean? That sucks. I understand how it feels to feel out of control. You know what I mean? But a lot of us are over here and, like I said, you know how long it takes me to take a whole 8 milligram strip because I only take a quarter of 1 milligram? So there's 8 1 milligram pieces in a strip. Excuse me. And I take a quarter of one of those. So that's 32 pieces. Okay? So it takes me 32 days to get through a whole 8 milligram strip. Yeah, that's about right. That's how tiny of a piece I'm taking of the Suboxone. That's how low I have titrated down. Now, there's a lot of people that say, like, why are you even on it then? Oh my gosh, you're on such a low dose. That's where I get the most benefit from this medication, is when I'm on a lower dose. When I'm on too high of a dose, I get constipated, I feel sweaty, and I don't like it. When I'm on a low dose, I still have plenty of energy. I still feel like myself. I'm not constipated. I still want to have sex. Like, I get all the benefits without the negative side effects. So that's why I titrated down to such a low dose. Period. Same. I'm so proud of you, Noelle. That's amazing. We're proud of you. Good job. And so, anyway, I mean, there's going to be a lot of people who feel some type of way. And this is what I have to say. If you can utilize medication and it helps you improve your life, like, fuck what other people say. Like, we're not living in the Stone Ages anymore, y'all. So, for those of you guys that don't know, when I got diagnosed with my diabetes, the doctor prescribed me Ozempic. And I know y'all have heard of Ozempic. I'm on the peptide version, which is semaglutide, but it's the same thing. And when I got on Ozempic, people did the same thing. They judged me because I was utilizing Ozempic for my diabetes. And because of that, my weight loss, I lost 30 more pounds. So I lost like 25 before I got on Ozempic, and then I lost like 36 or 7 on Ozempic. I don't know, however much. 25 plus whatever, I think it was like maybe 37, I'm not sure. Anyway, it was like 61 pounds total. And people got so upset because I was utilizing a medication to help me with my weight loss and my diabetes. So people felt slighted, like I was taking the easy way out. And I'm like, do you know how many years I have struggled with obesity? Do you know how many years I have been 100 pounds overweight? Not 20, not 30, not 50, 100 pounds overweight. Okay? Okay. With a pair of scissors. Just cut the strips. I was miserable and I was dying. I had an A1C of 11. 11, you guys. Do you know how horrible that is? So I'm damned if I do and damned if I don't. So what I've decided to do is just embrace it. And so now just refer to me as the medication queen. Okay? Because if there's a medicine out there that can help me with an ailment and I can take it and it's going to help me reverse whatever I got going on, baby, like I said, sign me up. I'm first in line. I'll be the guinea pig. I'll test it out, honey. Because that's what technology and science is for. We don't live in the 1920s. We don't live in the Bill Wilson days, okay? Where you have to white knuckle it and fucking go into a sanitarium or an asylum, right? We have help today. And so if you are white knuckling it, if you are struggling in 2024, damn it, you don't have to struggle no more. Why are you doing that to yourself? Because they said if you take Suboxone, you're not sober? Because they said you're taking the easy way out? Do you hear what I'm saying? Who the fuck are they? And why the fuck do you care what they are saying? And let me just make this. Do you know so many of the people who used to talk the most shit to me about being on Suboxone? Do y'all want to know where those people are today? You can take a guess. They're not alive, bro. They're not alive. They're dead. And you know what? The reason why they were saying that stuff is because somebody said it to them. And they felt so much shame. And they let it get to them. So instead of taking a route and getting the help that they needed and taking the medication, they didn't make it. I had a really good friend, rest in peace, Luca G. A really good friend who jumped off Suboxone, who should have never came off of it. And he ended up relapsing and dying. Okay? He was like a friend of mine. We made videos together and everything on YouTube. And I told him, what are you doing? Why are you jumping off subs? You don't need to get off subs. You're not ready. And now he's not with us anymore. And I just can't help but think that if he had stayed on MAT, he would still be here today. You know? That's what medication is here for. It's here to help us. This whole clean thing, like, you guys, that's a whole other thing. That's rhetoric and bullshit that has been sold to you guys by the 12-step programs. Okay? And now listen to me. The 12-step programs sell you guys this sober, clean, abstinence-only bullshit because they're connected to the treatment centers. And they want all of you guys to go into their centers and their programs and keep trying and failing and trying and failing and trying and failing. What happens when you get on sub? A lot of the times you don't keep trying and failing because you just stay on sub. Yeah, you're still making the pharmaceutical big pharma money, but I mean, it's the lesser of two evils in my opinion. You know what I mean? So there's all kinds of amazing Suboxone programs, you guys. You can go to ones that are local in your area. Excuse me. Sorry. This medication, semaglutide, the Ozempic, that's one side effect I could tell you all about. The burps and the farts are so fucking... I burp and fart like no other. If you came over to my house, I could probably fart like 20 times in a day. But anyways, I don't know what I was saying. I just lost it. Oh, yeah. Locally, there's so many Suboxone clinics locally now, guys. There's so many programs. The one that I talk about that I'm affiliated with is Recovery Delivered. And they're linked all over my page. The reason why I'm affiliated with them is because if you use my name, you get 50% off. So that's why. And you could just, like I said, you just go to them and tell them Nicole sent you and they'll take care of you. It's only $45 for your first appointment with them. But that's not why I'm on here. I'm not trying to make a commercial about Suboxone or get y'all to sign up to use my link or whatever like that. I'm just trying to explain to people that you can go anywhere. There's so many places, right? And like, don't be that person who is holding out because people are looking at you crazy because you were utilizing Suboxone. Don't be that person who is ashamed to get help because what will everyone think? You don't have to tell anybody. That's awesome, Angel. I'm proud of you. I've been on it since 2015, baby. So we're neck and neck right there. Like, at what I believe, at the point we were at was struggling with addiction and fentanyl and all that, like, who gives a fuck? Who cares what people think? Okay? Like, we used to do some fucking crazy shit in our active addiction. Are we really worried what people really think about us? Okay, let's just fucking, like, that shit's got to stop. And like I said, I've heard it all. Nobody can shame me. Nobody can say shit to me. I've heard it. I'm on government dope. I'm not sober. I'm not in recovery. I'm doing synthetic heroin. Wah, 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 wah. And living my best life while doing it, honey. We're about to hit 100,000 people over here on Facebook. So that's 100,000 people that support medication-assisted treatment. About to hit 200,000 over on TikTok. That's 200,000 people that support medication-assisted treatment. Okay? Like, we're making waves. We're not just staying silent and being ashamed. We're not ashamed. There's no reason to be ashamed. Why would you be ashamed for choosing life? Why would you be ashamed for choosing help for yourself? I'm not ashamed. And none of y'all should be ashamed either. So, okay, I'm done preaching for the night. I'm getting out of the pulpit. It's really important to me, y'all, that people know that there's nothing to be ashamed of. Okay, like, if you guys are ashamed, put your shame on me. I'll carry it for you. Okay? If you do feel embarrassed, put it over here. I'll be embarrassed for you. Okay? Because I'm telling you, there's really no reason to be ashamed or embarrassed. There's no reason. Like, think about all the things that we did when we were in active addiction. Think about the lying, the cheating, the stealing. Thinking about the degrading shit we did. Like, are we really going to let something like being on medication make us feel inadequate or less than or not validated? You know? It's really important to let yourself just be proud of yourself. It's a huge decision to get on Suboxone or methadone or Sublocade, whatever MAT program you choose, right? It's such a hard decision to make because of the stigma. Because so many people talk so negatively about it. Don't let people deter you from life-saving treatment. If you've tried to get sober over 3 times and you haven't been able to successfully put together a year of sobriety, you need to try an alternative path. It's not working, okay? That's a good indicator that what you're doing is not working. If you've tried to get sober 3 or more times and you have not been able to put together a year or more of sobriety, then you need to try another way. You're wasting your fucking time going back and forth in and out of the same programs over and over and over and over and over again. Okay? And if you guys know people who are like you and they need to hear the message, you know what to do. Invite them over here. I go live like 4 times a week here on Facebook. I go live on my YouTube channel all the time. And the links to my socials are linked in the comment section of this video, all over my Facebook account. But I'm Discovering Nicole, and on everything. Just type in Discovering Nicole and it'll pull me up. But we're having Amanda's going to come on Tuesday at noon, and she's going to share her story. Amanda's on Suboxone too, and she's going to share about her story. She's a makeup artist as well, and she's going to come on and tell us her story. And then I'm going to keep on, reaching out to people that want to come tell their story. But yeah, I wish somebody would have stepped up and told me, okay, girl, you've tried 10 times. You've been to 9 rehabs, right? 8 rehabs. You need to do something different because you're going to die. I wish people would have helped me earlier and made me realize that I was spinning my wheels, because that's what I was doing. I was spinning my wheels doing this. What do they say in Alcoholics Anonymous? What they tell y'all? Why do you keep doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results? Isn't that insanity? Isn't that insanity, y'all? Why are y'all going in and out of these abstinence-only programs only to relapse over and over again, expecting a different result, and you keep getting the same one, which is you relapse? Try something different, honey. Give yourself a motherfucking chance. That's what my doctor said to me when I went to see the doctor, and I said, hey, why should I get on Suboxone? Because I was totally against it. He looked at me, he goes, how many times have you been to rehab? I said, this was my 9th time. And how long have you been able to stay sober all those 9 times? I said, maybe 6 months. And he was like, why would you do that again? Why would you do that again if you keep on fucking failing? Do you hear how much sense it makes when you really look at it? And now I want you to ask yourself, why these treatment industry people keep trying to tell y'all to do that same thing? Y'all's insurance policies pay good money to these places, okay? So, if you've been going in and out of treatment and you keep on fucking relapsing, swallow your fucking pride and try medication-assisted treatment. Just try it. If it don't work, if you don't like it, that's okay. At least you tried. Okay? If medication-assisted treatment don't work, then try ketamine infusions. Go to see if you can go to therapy and get on ketamine infusions. That's a new treatment. If that doesn't work, try religion. Try Jesus. I don't know. There's so many different things you can do, but I know evidence-based science, medication-assisted treatment is what saved my life. And so that's really what I can share with you that I know works for me, and it works for a lot of other people as well. So, lip gloss of the night was the Haus Labs PhD Hybrid Lip Oil in the color Hue. Juicy, bitch. Juicy. Okay, and I will see you guys tomorrow, or either tomorrow I'll do a live. No, I'll probably do one Monday and then Tuesday. Tomorrow I'm just going to chill at the house with my husband and my son. But I will be live for sure Tuesday at noon with Amanda. She's going to come tell her story. But I hope you guys enjoyed my little rant of the night. This is usually how I am. I'm always high energy, and I'm always very passionate about what I'm saying. So if you're new here and I scared you a little, don't be scared. Go to church, honey. Okay, every time you come to one of my lives, you will be thoroughly entertained. I promise. You will not leave here without learning something and being entertained. But ask somebody. Okay, bye y'all.